Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good. I welcome you all to this session where we discuss the most important news stories of the day from the prelims examination point of view, convert them into prelims specific questions, and then discuss them here. If you're new here, do hit the subscribe and the like button. In order to get the PDF of all these classes, you can join my Telegram channel. I've given the link in the description of the video, where on a weekly basis, usually I share all the pending PDFs. So you can get there so that you can take the PDFs and revise. Also, if you're new here and you don't know about my other courses, I have my own Android app called Harshmeet Study Circle. You can download that again by using the link in the description of the video. I run courses such as PSIR test series, live PSIR optional classes, personalized mentorship programs for prelims, means, and much, much more. In order to get any more information about any of my other courses, feel free to WhatsApp me. This is the number on your screen, and my email ID also is given in the description of this video. Let's begin with the first question then. Consider the following statements with regards to PM Electric Drive Revolution in Innovative Vehicle Enhancement Scheme PM E-Drive. Number 1. For availing benefits under the scheme, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy will introduce e-vouchers for EV buyers. Second, the scheme also includes benefits for buying e-ambulances. Third, at the time of purchase, the scheme portal will generate an Aadhaar authenticated e-voucher which needs to be signed by the buyer and submitted to the dealer. How many of these are correct? Now, in order to give a further push to the EV vehicles, the Government of India is expanding the FAME 2 scheme, and this is coming in the form of PM E-Drive, specifically to give a push to electric vehicles. First statement is wrong. It is not the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy that is behind this particular project. You have to tell me in the comment section, this is your homework, which is the ministry that is implementing this, if not New and Renewable Energy Ministry. Second is correct, it includes benefits for buying e-ambulances as well, and third also is true. At the time of the purchase, you will have to authenticate the voucher with the use of Aadhaar card, and the dealer will be able to get money from that voucher. The answer here is B. Out of the three given statements, two of these here are correct. We have an article in today's Indian Express newspaper about how the cabinet has approved 10,900 crore to give a push to this new scheme. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to countervailing duties. Number 1. The WTO permits the imposition of countervailing duty by its member countries. Third, the countervailing duties are meant to level the playing field between domestic producer of a product and foreign producer of the same product who can afford to sell it at a lower price because of the subsidy they receive from their government. Third, countervailing duties are imposed unilaterally by a member after investigating and satisfying the criteria under subsidies and countervailing agreement of the WTO. How many of these are correct? It is in the news because the government of India has recently decided to continue imposing countervailing duties on some of the Chinese products. Remember, countervailing duties and anti-subsidy duties are the same. So at some places, you might see it being written as anti-subsidy duty. So for example, let's say we believe that the Chinese government is offering subsidy to their companies, allowing them to sell the product at a cheaper cost. To counter that, we can introduce this. All the three given statements here are correct about countervailing duties. The answer thus is C. This is how the concept of countervailing duties work. This is what the company or this is what the nations are trying to achieve with that. This is the article in today's Indian Express newspaper. Now, anti-subsidy duty on steel pipe import from China and Vietnam has been extended for 5 more years. As I said, it is also named or anti-subsidy duty. It is the same as countervailing duty. So don't be confused with that. Both of these are the same things irrespective of whatever the name says. Moving on to question number 3 then. Consider the following statements. Number 1. According to Coastal Regulation Zone Notification of 2011, the ecologically sensitive salt pans fall under CRZ1B category, where no economic activity is allowed except or with the exception of salt extraction only. Second, Andhra Pradesh has the largest area under salt pans in India. Third, salt pans stop the city from flooding and also host various species of birds and insects. How many of these are correct? It is in the news with respect to salt pans in Mumbai. Now, as you know, the Maharashtra government is looking to undertake, along with the Adani Group, the largest resettlement of the Dharavi slum. So, in order to resettle the people in Dharavi slum for redevelopment of the slum area, you'll have to build a lot of houses where people would live on rent. For that, you require land, and the government of Maharashtra has decided to give over some salt pans, area where salt is manufactured in Mumbai, to the Adani Group, which has again brought this topic into controversy because it is being seen as a compromise to the environment. With that in mind, first is wrong. CRZ 1B category are those where salt extraction and gas extraction is also allowed. So if there are gas deposits there, gas extraction is also allowed apart from salt extraction. Second and third are correct. Andhra Pradesh has the largest area under salt pan in India, and salt pans have a lot of significance, including preventing flooding in the city areas. The answer thus is B. Two of these given statements here are correct, while one of these is wrong. Moving on to the next question. By the way, this was the article in today's Indian Express. How many of these provisions are a part of the Outer Space Treaty? This treaty, as you know, was signed in 1967. Astronauts will be regarded as the envoys of humankind. Second, states shall be responsible for national space activities, whether carried out by government or non governmental entities. Third, outer space is not subject to national appropriation by claim of sovereignty, by means of use or occupation, or by any other means. How many of these even statements are correct? As you know, a lot of private companies are undertaking space missions, including the recent one, the Polaris Dawn by SpaceX, which is the first private spacewalk. That is why this treaty is in the news. Many people are saying that SpaceX recent mission Polaris Dawn that undertook private spacewalk actually violated the Outer Space Treaty. Why? Because it was not regulated or recognized by NASA or the US government, was completely beyond the government bounds. That is why it is being said that this was a violation of the Outer Space Treaty. All these three are correct. The second point here is of importance, that even if any space activities are taking place from wherever country, it has to be with the recognition of the government. That is why many people are saying that this SpaceX mission, without the recognition or regulation of the government or NASA, is a violation of the treaty. All the three are correct. The answer here is C. It is important to remember this because again the space missions have become quite relevant and important in the past few years, with a lot of companies undertaking such missions at a very frequent basis now. This is the article in the Indian Express website. Does Polaris Dawn mission violate the 50-year-old international treaty? Next question, number 5. Recently seen in the news, tharsis refers to what? Volcanic plateau, solar flare, abyssal hill, or meteor? Tharsis. It was in the news a few weeks back with respect to Mars specifically. The answer here is volcanic plateau. So this is the region of volcanic plateau in Mars. It was recently discovered. It was in the news, covered by multiple newspapers, including the Indian Express. Scientists have detected frost atop Mars's volcano in the Tharsis region of Mars. That is why it is relevant and important. To end the session today, again, I have an important infographic, just like every single day. This is the government's initiative to improve productivity and resilience in agriculture. How the government has taken up multiple initiatives under the digital public infrastructure, like digital crop surveys of kharif crops have been taken up. The government has also issued Jan Samarth based credit card, Kisan credit cards, and many other initiatives to give a boost to farming and go ahead with the aim of doubling farmers' income. Do remember that. That's an important piece of information. This brings us to the end of the session. Thanks so much for joining in. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a good day.